All right, everybody, welcome to month 10 of selling weekly lottos. Every week, I sell what's the equivalent of lottery tickets to gamblers and speculators in the stock market by writing covered calls and cash secured puts, and that's how I make passive income. All right, let me just go ahead and post the little disclaimers really quick. Boil! All right, take a little screenshot of that or pause it because it's going away, and let's just move on. So this month I got back in. Last month I was telling you I'm taking a little break. I started getting back in and I was able to make around $850 using an average of $31,000 per week. But one of those weeks I was still taking a break, so it really is around 50 to 60,000. And starting just dabble back in after a rough January and February, and March has been okay so far. So let's keep this video short because I'm still kind of just getting my head back on track and trying to get back in the game. But let me just go ahead and show you the metrics first. So boom. All right, so as you can see up here, the week before I took a break, I got a loss on my Google cash secured puts, and that's when I was like, hey, I need to chill out for a while. I need to get my head right, get some air, go skateboarding, do anything but focus on this market right now, okay? So I took a 4-week break, and then I got back in by just selling one circle put for $10,000 collateral, made like $100, okay? And then slowly got back in, tried to go back to selling covered calls, and the market's obviously going down. So even though I made premium, I made cash from my covered calls, the stocks went down. I'll show you the charts later, and that was still an overall loss from selling covered calls because the stocks went lower than the premium I received, which is why they are a loss. And then I actually did sell my shares of Nvidia, and I sold my shares of Google at a loss from their recent cost average, but I'm still up overall for the year. I'll show you those screenshots as well. And I'm going into a defensive position where I'm just going to be starting to go into index funds. And you can see here gold. I sold a put on gold because I'm going to start to be okay with buying gold. I think it's going to be a safe haven asset in this kind of uncertain times. And so $850 getting back in, $850 for the month, which is pretty low because it just like 10 months ago, I was making $1,000, sometimes $2,000 every week. So the market really did change a lot. When the market starts going bearish or even neutral, it really changes up the premiums quite a bit. I don't know if like last year I started like it's kind of like getting your first car is a Ferrari, and then a year later or something, your next car is a Honda Civic. Like the Honda Civic, not a bad car, pretty good car, but because your first car was a Ferrari, the Honda Civic doesn't feel as good. So I don't know if this is more normal. This is how really this will go, just $100 here and there, or if it'll ever come back to the kind of the Ferrari style where making $1,000 a week, or if that was just a one-time little point in history that was possible. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the charts really quick, just the trajectories of the let me show you the calls first. So here's all the calls. Hoya! All right, so as you can see, again, I just want to say this isn't technical analysis. These are just lines based on the parameters of the contracts I sold. So that yellow line going up is the trajectory the stock has to go in order for me to get assigned and have to sell my shares. So as you can see, the stock actually went down. So although I got the premium from the contracts, the stocks dipped further than the amount of premium that I received, which is an overall loss. So my account value went down. even though I got the premium. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened with the puts. Bozam! All right, so puts were a little bit different. They actually went up sometimes after I sold them. So the circle puts, the first one went way up. Actually, it would have been better if I just bought the shares or even bought calls. But the second one actually did go lower, but not fast enough for me to lose, and I was able to take profits on those. And the gold, just the next day, it went up just a little bit, and it completely destroyed the cash secured put contract. And I'm the seller, so that's good for me. So I got a 75% return in just one day from that gold contract. Yeah, so those are the charts right there. All right, let me just give you the quick little proof of all the trades. All right, Bozam! All right, there's all the proof. Take a little pause the video or screenshot it, but I just want to show you I did make those trades. All right. One other thing I have been doing is I've been selling not just Friday expirations. I've been like, if it's Monday, I'll sell for the next Monday expiration. If it's Wednesday, I'll sell for the next Wednesday expiration. And that's been giving me, like a few months ago, I was having concerns that I had to wait. So there's a good opportunity to make a trade, but in order for it to be a weekly, I would have to wait. So if like the market dipped on Wednesday and it was a good time to sell a contract, sell a cash secured put, I couldn't do that for the next Friday because it would be more than a week, right? So this way, I've been able to take advantage of whether the market is a good time to trade and trade it for that next week. And there's only a few companies available for these like midweek options. Otherwise, usually all the options expire on Fridays. But on index funds like SPY and QQQ, you can do it. They have dailies going to the next week. And then on like Nvidia, Google, there's Apple, Amazon, Magnificent Seven stocks. They have like Monday and Wednesday options now. So that's giving me more versatility in finding the right moment. All right. And then lastly, I have been taking notes because a lot of people ask me about the delta. So I've been taking little notes of when I sell the contract, what the delta is. So I'm just going to show you the notes I took because I didn't memorize them. So just go ahead and take a look. Boom! So here's the little delta and theta of the contracts I sold. So usually they're like, I don't know, 10, 15, sometimes as high as like 25, 30 delta, but usually lower than 15. And then the theta, I always try to make the theta higher than the delta. It's not always possible, but the theta ranges from like 20, 30, sometimes goes all the way up to 50. So yeah, I still don't totally understand why people think delta is so important. I don't really see the point in this, but if you want to go ahead and write in the comments why you think delta is a good thing to look at, I'm always open to learning new information. So yeah, and then lastly, I just want to show you the overall returns of my Nvidia and Google. Even though I sold for a loss, I still have a total return that's positive in the year. Boom! All right. The reason I sold is because a lot of my stocks in just the last few months went from a positive overall profit and they flipped to negative. I had a lot of shares that flipped to negative, like my Microsoft shares. They were positive, flipped to negative from this bear market. My Robinhood, I have some Robinhood shares. They were positive for like a long time too, like 8 months straight. And then literally in 1 month, they flipped to negative. My Take-Two shares, they went from my biggest gain now to negative. And so I just didn't want this to happen with Nvidia and Google. So I just decided to get out of there, keep them in the profit. And if I ever do, feel comfortable getting back into individual stocks, then those are probably the first two I'll jump back into. But other than that, I'm getting back into this, and I'm gonna keep updating you at least every month, just to show you how I'm still doing it. All right, that's it from me, guys. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments, any concerns, any criticism. Happy to hear all of it. Other than that, take care of yourself. Good luck out there in this market, and peace.